Today I am going to tell you about the context, language, history, and theological implications of John 1:1. John 1:1 says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." That is the NIV version. Now, the context of this would be the surrounding verses, of course. So John 1:2-5 says, "He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome." Now, the language of these verses is Koine Greek, so let me read that to you. Verse 1 of John. En arze en ha logos kai ha logos en pros ton theon kai theos en ha logos. Now that was John 1:1 in Greek. The important word here in Greek is logos, meaning word, as translated in the NIV. Logos appears 3 times in John's Gospel and is translated as word. Logos basically means word, but it has many other names and derivatives such as Lego. Logos can also mean to gather, to tell a story, speech, to tell, and oration. Plato used the word to mean oration for his book on funeral orations, while Xenophon's used it to mean story. It all depends on time and context. The NIV translates logos as word to express that an idea existed that was and is a part of God. This is why this word is important. When talking about what it means for Jesus to be a part of God, some early Christians looked at this verse and thought that it meant that Jesus, rather than being an equal to God, was a concept created by God. So the history of this is that John's Gospel used to be known as the Gospel of the Word. That is, John's Gospel became the book about how what God said in the Old Testament became true in the New Testament. But the word logos only appears in John's Gospel a few times. In recent history, John's Gospel has been transformed into the Gospel of Light. The Gospel of Light is repeated several times throughout John's Gospel. The idea of light is introduced in verse 4, which reads, "In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind." What John is saying is that Jesus is the means by which creation takes place. So while the concept of the word is important, it is only as important as the fact that the word, which is Jesus, is the light that is talked about throughout John's Gospel. The theological implications here. So, what are the implications of this verse? Well, you got to think, when John wrote this book, he would have been writing to only a few Christians. John's audience would have been mostly Jews. Imagine writing a sentence that would be appalling to almost your entire nation and nonsense to the rest of the world. This verse is like saying Hitler is the Babe Ruth of politics. It is ridiculous and nonsense to the uninformed. The Bible is an eclectic work of literature covering many genres, and even more time. Thousands of people have written about every verse of the Bible. To that end, I apologize if I missed something you think is important, or if I'm wrong. Proper research is necessary, so please don't reference me in a paper. Check the description below for some resources on this verse. Let me know down in the comments what you think of the video, and don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell button for more videos. Thank you.